There are times in life when we feel as if certain people are leaving us forever. A painful separation, a broken friendship, a love story that fades. And yet, deep in our hearts, there remains this inexplicable feeling. What if this isn't the end? Sometimes we feel an invisible force guiding our steps, something pushing us to believe that Allah has not yet written the word end on this relationship. In the Islamic faith, we know that nothing happens by chance. Every encounter, every separation, every return is part of Qadr, the destiny that Allah has decreed for us. The Prophet taught us that even if all of humanity were to unite to do us good or harm, it could only happen if Allah has written it for us. What is meant for you will come to you, even if it takes time. What isn't for you will drift away, even if you cling to it with all your might. So, when the thought of this person returns to your mind again and again, when you feel inner peace thinking of them, and you see signs around you that remind you of their presence, isn't it the hand of Allah at work? Isn't it a sign that this person still has a role in your story? Allah is the master of hearts, the one who brings souls together or separates them according to what is best for them. Perhaps this temporary separation wasn't a failure, but a necessary step for you to grow, to purify your intentions, and prepare you for a stronger, more sincere return. Have you ever felt that connection, as if a person remains connected to your heart despite the distance and silence? If so, then stay with me, because in this video, we will explore together the signs Allah sends to show you that this person is returning to your life and how to recognize this divine confirmation. 1. Spiritual context. In the Islamic worldview, every connection between human beings is under the control of Allah, the Most High. Nothing is left to chance. When two people meet, it is because Allah willed it. And when two people separate, that too is part of the divine plan. Life, with its joys and trials, is a succession of events, guided by Allah's infinite wisdom. Faith in relationships is essential because it reminds us that we do not control everything. Even the feelings of the heart are in the hands of Allah. The Prophet said in a famous supplication, "O you who turns the hearts, make my heart firm in your religion." This supplication shows that human emotions are fragile and changeable. Sometimes, Allah removes a person from our lives to teach us patience, trust in His decree, or even to purify us before reuniting with them. Quranic verses on destiny and the reunion of souls. The Quran reminds us that everything is written in the well-guarded tablet, Al-Lawh Al-Mahfuz, even before our birth. No harm befalls the earth or you except in a book before we create it. And that is easy for Allah. Surah Al-Hadid 57:22. This verse teaches us that even separation or emotional distance is already foreseen by Allah. If someone is to return to you, they will return, for nothing can go against the divine will. Another powerful verse says, "Souls are like armies gathered together. Those who know each other gather together, and those who do not know each other separate." Sahih Muslim. This prophetic saying reveals to us that some souls have a natural affinity. They may lose sight of each other, but they eventually reunite, as if drawn by an invisible force. Examples in Islamic history. In the Sirah, biography of the Prophet, we see many examples where Allah has enabled unexpected reunions. The story of Yusuf, Joseph, and Yaqub, Jacob. After years of separation, when all seemed lost, Allah reunited Prophet Yusuf with his father under extraordinary circumstances. Surah Yusuf. This story is a reminder that patience and trust in Allah are always rewarded. The return of Safiya bint Huyay into the life of the Prophet. She had endured immense hardships before Allah decreed her union with him. The friendship between the Prophet and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, even when they had to hide in the cave of Thawr, their bond was guided by complete trust in Allah, which allowed them to overcome the ordeal and continue their journey together. The spiritual context, therefore, teaches us that if a person is destined for you by Allah, nothing and no one can prevent them from returning. This return will come at the right time, perhaps after a period of purification, reflection, and personal growth. It is in this patience and faith that the true strength of the believer lies. 2. Signs that Allah is sending this person back to you. When Allah wants to reunite two souls, He places subtle signs along their path. These signs are not mere coincidences, but reminders, spiritual messages that touch the heart of the believer. Recognizing these signs requires an attentive, pure heart and trust in Allah, for not everything comes from our imagination. 1. Answered du'as and sincere prayers. One of the first signs that Allah is sending this person back to you is when your supplications, du'as, seem to find unexpected answers. Perhaps you have prayed, saying, "O Allah, if this person is good for my faith, my life and my heart, bring them closer to me." And suddenly, situations arise that foster rapprochement, communication, or events that seem to open the door between you. When you perform Salat al-Istikhara, the prayer of consultation, and then feel inner peace, sakina, when thinking of this person, it is often a sign that the path is aligned with Allah's will. The Prophet said, "The heart of the believer is at peace when he chooses what pleases Allah." 2. Dreams with messages. Dreams can be a language through which Allah guides us. The Prophet said that good dreams are part of prophecy. Sahih Bukhari. If you often dream of this person in positive contexts, light, smile, serenity, it may be a sign of rapprochement intended by Allah. But be careful. Not all dreams are divine signs. Some are thoughts of your own mind or illusions sent by shaitan. This is why it is important to verify these signs through prayer and wisdom, and not just through dreams. 3. Serenity and light in the heart. When Allah wishes to send someone back to you, you feel an inexplicable peace about them. You are no longer overwhelmed by anxiety or doubt. On the contrary, your heart is filled with calm and confidence. It is as if Allah places a certainty in your heart. This person is good for you. The Prophet said, "Consult your heart, for the soul of the believer is a compass that recognizes what is right." 4. Signs in your environment. Allah sometimes communicates through events or repeated words around you. For example, you often hear their name, or situations will remind you of this person without you looking for it. Loved ones talk about them without you asking, or you come across verses or reminders that speak of patience, return, or reconciliation just when you need them. These are not coincidences. They are divine winks. 5. Obstacles that disappear. When Allah wants to send someone back to you, He makes the path easier. Perhaps what was causing your separation, misunderstandings, pride, distance, begins to fade in ways you hadn't anticipated. It's as if the barriers dissolve, opening the way to a new beginning, differentiating illusions from true signs. It is very important to differentiate between a genuine sign and an illusion created by our own desires. A true sign from Allah never contradicts religion or moral values, brings you peace, not anxiety. Often confirmed by several positive coincidences, is accompanied by spiritual growth, more prayer, sincerity and patience. An illusion, on the contrary, pushes you to act hastily, turns you away from your faith, and makes you lose your composure. Testimonies and symbolic examples. Samira's story. After a painful separation, she made numerous du'as to ask Allah if this man was the right one. For several months, nothing. Then, one day, after making istikhara, he contacted her, saying he felt the same desire to return, as a sign that Allah had softened their hearts. Yasin's story. He had broken off all contact with a childhood friend. Years later, a simple, unexpected encounter in a mosque reunited them. The chance was, in reality, simply a decree from Allah. These signs are not magical, and they do not always guarantee an immediate return. Sometimes, Allah shows you these signs to remind you to remain patient or to prepare you spiritually before the reunion. 3. How to know if it's divine confirmation. Recognizing whether Allah is truly sending you a sign or confirmation is not always easy. The human heart is influenced by desires, fears, and illusions. Sometimes we think we see signs, when they are only a reflection of our hopes. To distinguish truth from mere wishful thinking, we must use the tools Islam has given us. Prayer, istikhara, observing the signs in daily life, and above all, complete trust in Allah. Tawakkul. 1. The role of istikhara and prayer. Istikhara, prayer of consultation, is a powerful tool for asking Allah to guide us toward what is best for our life and our faith. When you ask yourself the question, is this person really the one Allah wants for me? The best answer will not come from a visible sign, but from an inner feeling that only sincere prayer can bring. The Prophet taught the famous invocation of istikhara, O Allah, if you know that this matter is good for me, in my religion, in my present life, and in the hereafter, make it easy for me and bless it for me. And if you know that it is evil for me, then keep it away from me and keep me away from it. And destine for me good wherever it may be, then make me satisfied with what you have decreed. After this prayer, divine confirmation manifests itself through an ease that opens up in the relationship. Obstacles diminish. An inner peace, sakina, when you think of this person. Indirect signs that encourage you to move forward. 2. Clues in daily life. Allah sometimes communicates through invisible signs in your daily life. Opportunities or situations that naturally bring you closer to that person, without you forcing things. Messages or events that come at the perfect moment. For example, someone talks to you about patience in relationships just when you thought you'd give up. The feeling that that person is present in your supplication or thoughts in a peaceful way, without obsession or anxiety. Be careful. If you feel more stress than peace, if you have to force events or manipulate the situation, this is not a divine sign, but an illusion of your ego. 3. The inner voice, your heart as a guiding light. The Prophet said, consult your heart. Good is what reassures your soul, and evil is what causes turmoil in your heart. Ahmad. If you feel tranquility, a kind of deep serenity when thinking about this person, it is often a sign that your heart is aligned with Allah's will. On the other hand, if you feel confusion, persistent sadness, or a sense of forcing destiny, it may be a warning. 4. The importance of patience. Sabr. Allah sometimes tests our patience before confirming an answer. You may see certain signs, but final fulfillment takes time. A person's return may be delayed to give you both time to grow spiritually. The Quran says, and seek Allah's help with patience and prayer. Surah Al-Baqarah, 2:45. A genuine sign never comes in a hurry. Things fall into place like a puzzle, slowly but in perfect harmony. Patience also allows you to avoid the illusions caused by strong emotions. 5. Tawakkul. Entrusting everything to Allah. Tawakkul means placing all trust in Allah after making all lawful efforts. It involves saying, "O Allah, if this person is good to me, bring them closer to me, and if not, keep them away, even if I don't understand why." This attitude of detachment helps you avoid clinging to a person out of obsession. If Allah returns them to you, you will know that it is a true sign. And if not, Allah will replace that relationship with something much better for you. 6. Confirmation through others. Sometimes, Allah confirms a decision through pious people or external events. Sincere advice from a loved one, a word from an imam, a verse from the Quran read at the right time. All of these can be signs that your request has been heard. Concrete example. Aisha, a young woman, prayed for a long time to know if she should reconnect with a long-lost friend. After performing istikhara, she felt a deep sense of serenity. A few days later, she received a message from him asking for forgiveness for the past. She understood that this return was not a mere coincidence, but a clear response from Allah to her supplications. In summary, divine confirmation is recognized by 3 major elements. Inner peace, your heart feels at peace. Ease, events fall into place without you forcing them. Consonance with faith, nothing contradicts the teachings of Islam. These signs are not magical, and they do not always guarantee an immediate return. Sometimes, Allah shows you these signs to remind you to remain patient, or to prepare you spiritually before the reunion. 4. What you should do while waiting. Waiting can be one of the most difficult trials. When your heart is yearning for someone's return, each day seems long, each silence becomes heavy. Yet this period of waiting is also a blessing in disguise, as it allows you to draw closer to Allah, to purify yourself, and to prepare yourself spiritually. It's not about remaining passive or obsessed with this return, but rather about transforming this time into an opportunity for inner growth. 1. Intensify your relationship with Allah. Before seeking confirmation of someone's return, you must first strengthen your bond with Allah. Often, Allah pushes a person away so that you may turn to Him, make prayer a top priority. If you are not regular in your 5 daily prayers, now is the time to stick to them. Prayer is key to calming your heart and clarifying your intentions. Read the Quran daily. Verses contain invisible answers and a light that soothes the heart. For example, reread Surah Ash-Sharh, Al-Inshirah, often. Verily, with difficulty comes ease. Increase your supplications, dua. Speak to Allah as one would speak to a close friend, with sincerity and humility. Ask Him for guidance and patience. 2. Purify your heart and intentions. If Allah sends this person back to you, it is not to repeat the same mistakes, but to start again with a purified heart. Take advantage of this time to ask yourself the right questions. Why do you really want this person back? Is it out of sincere love, faith, or simply fear of loneliness? Tip: do charitable acts, helping a loved one, giving charity, while asking Allah to bless your intentions. Good deeds purify the heart and attract blessings. 3. Improve yourself. This period is also a time to work on yourself, your character, your flaws, and your strengths. Develop patience, sabr. Learn to accept Allah's timing, even if it doesn't match your own. Strengthen your behavior, akhlaq. Be kinder, more tolerant, more grateful. If this person returns, they should find you better than before. Take care of yourself. Physical and mental well-being, a healthy lifestyle, good emotional health, is also an act of worship. 4. Don't force things. A person's return should never be forced. If Allah wills this reunion, it will happen naturally. Forcing events can lead to frustration or unnecessary pain. Don't spend your time texting or monitoring this person. Leave the space necessary for hearts to find each other again. Trust in the divine plan. What is written for you will come to you without you having to chase it. 5. Increase prayers for protection and guidance. During this wait, you can recite specific invocations. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا, Surah Al-Imran 3-8. O Lord, do not cause our hearts to stray after you have guided us. Salat al-Haja, the prayer of need, to ask Allah to fill this void or grant you what is best for you. Dhikr, reminders. Say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, and La ilaha illa Allah several times a day to calm your heart and elevate your spirit. 6. Accept Allah's decree, Qadr. Waiting is also a test to learn to say, O Allah, I love you more than this person. If they are good for my faith and my life, bring them back. If not, give me something better and make my heart content. This attitude of sincere detachment is very powerful. Often, it is when we let go that Allah gives us what we desire most, because our intention has become pure. Concrete example, Karim, after a difficult breakup, decided to devote 3 months to praying regularly, improving his faith, and not trying to contact his ex-fiancée. Without warning, she contacted him again to apologize and talk again. He understood that this return was not due to chance, but to the fact that Allah had purified their hearts during this period of separation. In summary, during the wait, draw closer to Allah than ever. Purify your heart and your intentions. Work on yourself to be ready to welcome this person, Allah willing. Let Allah decide and never force things. 5. Testimonies and inspiring stories. True stories and testimonies are sources of inspiration because they show that Allah's mercy manifests itself in sometimes unexpected situations. Returns, reconciliations, and miracles of the heart are possible when we place our trust in Allah and are patient. Story 1. The unexpected return after years. Sarah and Imran were close friends, but a misunderstanding drove them apart. Each went their separate ways. Years later, Sarah began praying, asking Allah to show her whether she should move on or hope for reconciliation. She performed Salat al-Istikhara and felt a strange peace, as if an answer was about to come. A few weeks later, Imran contacted her by chance, having himself felt the urge to mend things. Their meeting was sweet and sincere, as if Allah had planned every step of their return. Morale: when two hearts are sincere and faith guides their intentions, Allah creates the circumstances to bring them together at the perfect time. Story 2. Patience. Rewarded Youssef deeply loved his fiancée, but family conflicts separated them. Devastated, he decided to entrust this ordeal to Allah. He increased his prayers, performed dhikr, and continued his life, improving his faith and behavior. 2 years later, the family situation calmed down. Both families finally accepted their union, recognizing that their patience and faith were proof of their seriousness. Morale: what is written by Allah cannot be prevented by anyone. Patience, sabr, and trust in Allah opened doors that were thought to be closed. Story 3. Illusion unveiled. Fatima believed that the man she loved was the chosen one sent by Allah. She saw signs everywhere, but despite her efforts, nothing was moving forward. One day, she made istikhara and felt great confusion. As she deepened her relationship with Allah, she realized that this man was actually leading her away from her faith. A few months later, she met another man, pious and sincere, who brought her serenity. Morale: not all signs come from Allah. Sometimes He closes a door to spare you pain and give you something better. Story 4. A return guided by forgiveness. Hassan and Layla had been married for 3 years, but a misunderstanding caused their separation. Hassan, aware of his mistakes, asked Allah for forgiveness and made numerous du'as for a second chance. After several months, Layla felt in her heart the desire to forgive and return. Their new life together is stronger today because it is built on faith and gratitude to Allah. Morale: forgiveness is a door through which Allah instills peace in relationships. When hearts are sincere, Allah brings them closer. Lessons to be learned from these stories. What is written for you will come to you. No matter the distance or obstacles, if Allah has decreed a return, it will happen. Patience and faith are the keys. All these testimonies show that divine answers do not come immediately, but they always arrive at the perfect time. Do not confuse desire with a sign. Learn to distinguish between Allah's true confirmations and the illusions of your heart. If Allah wants to reunite two souls, nothing in the world can stop it. Not time, not distance, not obstacles. Allah is the one who unites hearts and creates the deepest bonds. What you expect today, what you hope for deep in your heart, may already be written in your destiny. But you must learn to trust the divine plan. The Prophet said, "Know that what has befallen you could not miss you, and what you missed could not befall you." Hadith reported by Tirmidhi. This means that every separation, every return, and every encounter is planned by the wisdom of Allah. You don't have to fear losing someone who is meant for you. Likewise, you cannot force destiny to keep someone who is not meant for you. Peace is found in acceptance. The main message: if Allah returns this person to you, it is a gift. But if Allah doesn't send it back to you, it's also a protection and a proof of His love for you. Have faith. Continue to pray, to supplicate, and to improve yourself. Every effort you make toward goodness brings you closer to what you truly deserve. Remember, Allah never abandons you. Even when you're in doubt, He's working in secret for you. Have faith and let Allah decide. Sometimes we want to control everything. Who stays? Who returns? When? But one of the most beautiful signs of faith is tawakkul. That is, entrusting your affairs to Allah while making the necessary effort. Your role? Pray sincerely. Be patient. Focus on your own spiritual and personal development. When you do these, the right person always comes back, or Allah gives you something much better, invitation to personal reflection. Ask yourself, am I ready to welcome this person with a pure heart? Is my relationship with Allah more important than my attachment to this person? Am I able to say, "Oh Allah, I trust you, even if the outcome is not what I want"? These questions will help you find peace, no matter Allah's response. Remember, you are never alone. Every tear you shed, every prayer you offer, every breath of hope you feel is heard by Allah. He knows your heart better than you know yourself. If you feel this person is part of your destiny, keep moving forward. Keep praying. And if not, prepare yourself to receive something far greater than you imagine. And put your trust in Allah. And Allah is sufficient as a protector. Surah Al-Ahzab 33:3. Have faith, make dua, work on yourself, and let Allah decide. For he who places his life in the hands of Allah never loses.